Kevin Durant on the court, he's an MVP type player, but basically as for now, he's one of the most disrespected NBA superstars that any player can even see on the court. Why is that? In today's video, we'll talk about it and more on that. So if you are new, hit a like button, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk about why Kevin Durant is the most hated NBA superstar in today's day and age.
And I think it's the weakest move I've ever seen by a superstar, plain and simple.
Then we all know he basically got picked by Seattle Supersonics in 2007, which was the second pick in the 2007 draft of the Portland Trail Blazers missed out on him. In his first year, he basically named Rookie of the Year, as Kevin Durant gave you good averages across the court, as he gave you 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists per game. Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James did basically average 20 points per game as for a rookie in an entire season. As for Kevin Durant, he basically improved the Thunder's record basically by 27 wins from the previous year, and they made the playoffs. Kevin Durant, he has a scoring average of 30.1 points, becoming the youngest player to win the scoring champion for his caliber. And Kevin Durant finally made the All-Star game, and he was named the All-Star MVP.
Here is Durant for the win! Kevin Durant!
And Oklahoma City would go on to defeat Dallas, the Lakers, and San Antonio before losing to Miami Heat in the 2012 finals. But Kevin Durant is basically given more responsibility, as he's basically averaging a career high 30.8 points per game throughout the playoffs. But the Oklahoma City Thunder are basically eliminated by the Memphis Grizzlies in 5 games due to Kevin Durant's basically great play. Then for Kevin Durant in the 2013-2014 season, Kevin Durant gave you 35.9 points while scoring 30 or more in 12 games, and it basically included another career high. In January of 2013 and 2014 season, Kevin Durant averaged 35.9 points as he scored or more. The Thunder finished with 59 wins, and Kevin Durant was voted the most valuable player, and this is behind Kevin Durant's average of 32 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game. As for Kevin Durant, basically this MVP man, he's a very low superstar 2 or 3 years, and basically his rise to superstardom begun. But in the 2014 playoffs, Kevin Durant struggled basically mightily, and he basically converted 24% of his field goals in Game 4 versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Throughout 5 games, the Thunder trailed the series 3-2. Kevin Durant responded and scoring 36 points in the Game 6 victory. Oklahoma City eventually eliminated Memphis and the Los Angeles Clippers before losing to Spurs in the Western Conference Finals in 6 games. As for Kevin Durant in the 2014-2015 season, Kevin Durant had a fracture in his right foot and was ruled out for 8 weeks. Kevin Durant missed the first 17 games of the year, and he made his debut based around Christmas time. Then on December 18th, Kevin Durant injured himself again as he injured his ankle versus the Golden State Warriors. Then Kevin Durant then returned to action on the 31st on New Year's Eve, which was against the Phoenix Suns as he scored a career high 44 points. Then Kevin Durant then had another injury, and in this year Kevin Durant gave you 28 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block a game, and he led the Thunder to 56 wins, and they were basically the third team in the West. And this Oklahoma City Thunder team would beat teams like the Mavericks, that beat teams like the San Antonio Spurs, and it's basically led to them basically facing the Golden State Warriors, which they would lose to. As Kevin Durant, they were up 3-1, they blew a 3-1 lead. But why Kevin Durant basically got bashed by this move? Because Kevin Durant basically took the easy way out and basically leaving a team that he recently could have won against as they basically blew a 3-1 lead. But for Kevin Durant, he basically took the short-term deal as Kevin Durant would sign a 2-year contract with the Golden State Warriors, and it's basically one of the most dumbest moves of all time. But for Kevin Durant with this move, as he made this move for himself, he'll basically play alongside one of the best backcourts in NBA history in Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Then Kevin Durant on February 11th, he made his return back to Oklahoma City, and he basically scored 34 points while being booed by the fans throughout the night, and he basically helped the Warriors beat the Thunder for the 3rd time that year. Then in March, Kevin Durant suffered an MCL sprain, but Golden State Warriors basically finished the year on a 67-15 record and entered basically the playoffs at the 1st seed. Kevin Durant then returned from injury in the 2017 playoffs and helped the Warriors get to their 3rd consecutive finals, as basically the NBA playoffs they're undefeated. But as for Kevin Durant, they basically finished the Cavaliers off in 5 games, and that's Kevin Durant's 1st championship, and he won a Finals MVP with that team from there. Then after the finals, Kevin Durant re-signed the Warriors for less money, and he got another championship under his resume, as they faced the Cavaliers again, but he faced basically the Houston Rockets. Then on January 10th of the 2017-2018 season, for Golden State, it's basically a luxurious year as they win another championship, as they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers and sweep them in the NBA Finals. And to then mean to Kevin Durant going for a third ring with the Golden State Warriors, as he basically re-signed the Warriors basically on a $61 million deal. And then basically Kevin Durant basically had many accusations with Draymond Green, he had many problems with the team, and many people were questioning Kevin Durant for his time with the Warriors. But for Kevin Durant in the NBA playoffs of 2019 era, they're basically faked with many testers. The Los Angeles Clippers forced him to 6 games, then the Houston Rockets basically took him to a 7-game series, then the Rockets took him to 6 games, then basically the Portland Trailblazers, they swept them easily, and would then leave him to then playing the Toronto Raptors. As for Kevin Durant, though he was injured in his playoff run, he wanted to return in Game 5 and he basically ruptured his Achilles, and then basically he wanted to help his team out, but it didn't help him out for a long run, and basically the Warriors suffered the consequences in putting Kevin Durant back out there. Kevin Durant had this happen, he's basically going for basically a move on Serge Ibaka, and it's a non-contact injury as he basically limped off the court. Then the Warriors would lose to the 2019 Raptors basically in 6 games, and it would fail their three-peat.
Because I don't recall an answer to this question. Did that play a role in you leaving Golden State?
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
You want to expand on that at all?
Yeah, I mean, if your teammate talked to you that way, you think about it a bit. But you know, we talked, like I said, we talked about it. But definitely, for sure, I'm not gonna lie about it.
KD, why do you ultimately decide to leave?
I just felt like I needed a switch. I felt like a lot of stuff in Golden State had reared its head, and I felt like that was just going to be the end no matter what, especially for that group. Sean Livingston was retiring, Andre Iguodala was getting older. Our contracts were going to stifle the team and put us in the hole to get other players. So I was just like, you know, it was time for all of us to kind of separate.
He then decided to sign with the Brooklyn Nets. But then for Kevin Durant, he didn't play the first in the Brooklyn Nets, and he basically returned to the court in the 2020-2021 season. Then basically Kevin Durant, he basically made his debut. He had very much had fair promise that he's back to the court himself, as he gave you 22 points and 5 rebounds and 3 assists for his first game back. And then basically later on in January, he basically brought his running mate James Harden as he requested a trade, joining his former teammate Kevin Durant. Then Kevin Durant would continue to step the stat sheet for the Brooklyn Nets, as they basically have a promising season as they finished the record with a 48-24 record, as they're the second seed in the East. But for the Brooklyn Nets, there's a very much hidden problem that basically there was injuries and didn't really play together a lot. Kevin Durant and the Nets basically beat the Celtics in 5 games with Kyrie Irving and James Harden, and then they lose to the Milwaukee Bucks basically in 7 games with Kevin Durant got 48 points, and to include a 2-pointer that would send the game into overtime, as they lose by 4 and Kevin Durant scored 48 points in this game. That's the most in the NBA playoff history. But as for Kyrie and James Harden, they're basically dealing with injuries as for himself. Then in 2021 and 2022, Kevin Durant was then renewed himself with the Brooklyn Nets. He got many accolades. He got a triple-double. He recorded his 13th triple-double in his career. He scored 30 points on 11 of 12 shooting over the Orlando Magic. He's just scoring 30 points all over the place. Then on January 15th of 2022, Kevin Durant basically suffered another knee injury, which was a sprained MCL, and he was ruled out for 4 to 6 weeks. He would then come back in March and is basically his same self, and he scored 31 points in a loss to Miami Heat. Kevin Durant became the 23rd player in NBA history to reach 25,000 points. And then basically for the Brooklyn Nets, they finished the 7th seed as basically they're ruled out with injuries. And then in the playoffs, they faced the Boston Celtics. Kevin Durant basically got swept by the Boston Celtics in 4 games. And then it's basically a dominant Celtics team, so Kevin Durant losing, they're pretty much a surprise, but pretty much an upset for the Brooklyn Nets. And I mean, basically the Brooklyn Nets had basically had to move Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant declined his trade request, as the Brooklyn Nets declined to find a trade partner. This is Kevin Durant 2022 to 2023 season. Kevin Durant's always continuing his dominance as basically being an MVP type level caliber player, and he's already giving you almost about 25 to 30 points per game. And he basically became the 19th player of all time to get 26,000 points. And Kevin Durant also tied Michael Jordan with the most 25 points per game to start season with 16. And Kevin Durant has many legends in company for this season. But for Kevin Durant, their Brooklyn Nets right now, right then, I think it was in the top 5 in the East. And they're having a good record right now, so I think Kevin Durant, this is the road of him going from basically the Oklahoma City Thunder where he was loved As for now, to the Brooklyn Nets, where he's basically hated, but for Kevin Durant, he basically wanted to get a trade request for last year, but he didn't get anywhere. But I think for a Toronto Raptors, they could have got him. But for a Brooklyn Nets, they didn't have anything of the statue, and they basically wanted a player in Scotty Barnes the Raptors wouldn't give up. But as for the story of how Kevin Durant was from the NBA till now, and his base journey to becoming a hated superstar in the NBA, like this video, your boy kdeemo. It's a long video, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Your boy kdeemo, I'm out, man. Peace.